Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we want to thank you for joining us on such short notice. As you are aware, we are here today to address the growing humanitarian crisis caused by the Saye Town demolition exercise, a crisis that has devastated vulnerable citizens, including men, women, children, and the elderly. As we speak, families are faced with immense burdens, and children's education has been deeply disrupted, with a school serving over 100 students left destroyed. Poor landowners who spent 20 to 30 years, some even 40 years, building homes on modest incomes were suddenly forced to watch their homes destroyed by what has come to be known as Boakar's bloody bulldozer campaign. A campaign sanctioned by President Boakar without prior notice, and we say so because he continued to be silent, he continued to be inactive, he continued to be motionless as poor people's homes are destroyed, leaving families demoralized, leaving families traumatized and displaced. We've also received credible reports that certain greedy and insensitive private actors are exploiting their privileged positions to displace tens of thousands of Liberians illegally, enriching themselves and Lebanese business owners at the expense of ordinary families. This is unacceptable. And in the coming days and weeks, we will dig out those individuals involved once it's established through prima facie, and of course, we will not hesitate to confront them within the confines of the law. So, still, we definitely confront these cruel and quote-unquote powerful interests, and we pursue every lawful avenue, including bold social actions within the law, to defend affected, displaced communities where these demolition exercises occurred. It is against this backdrop that we have convened today's press conference under the theme, State demands immediate end to forced evictions, says Saye Town demolition threatens the safety and rights of poor Liberians nationwide. The Saye Town demolition exercise threatens the safety and rights of poor Liberian communities nationwide. The Solidarity and Trust for a New Day stand following its visit to the devastated remains of Saye Town strongly condemns the illegal state-backed demolition exercise of private properties carried out by armed police officers acting on a corrupted court order. This heartless operation represents a dangerous and ongoing weaponization of the court system to serve the interests of the powerful, well-connected individuals at the expense of poor but legitimate landowners. STAND is alarmed by the escalating land grab crisis that has already displaced tens of thousands of citizens in Montserrado County alone, triggering repeated business humanitarian emergencies in communities such as Stockton Creek, Sinkor, Newport Street, Bushrod Island, Brewerville, and Congo Town. These demolitions have left families homeless, traumatized, and without protection. Against this backdrop, STAND has received credible information from community-based investigators that the state-backed bloody bulldozer campaign may soon expand to target additional communities in Roto Town in the Pinsley area. We urgently call on the state to halt these actions immediately. Post-war Liberia needs land reform that safeguards vulnerable communities, not the weaponization of courts and state power to dispossess them of their legitimate homes and their legitimate properties. These heartless demolitions are pushing families into homelessness, hunger, and despair under the silent watch of President Joseph Boakai. His failure to act signals tolerance for abuses committed against the very people he was elected to protect. Stand is therefore not surprised by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's endorsement of this brutal campaign against poor people, which reflects a continuation of the Sirleaf bucket demolition legacy that displaced thousands of Liberians during their 12 years in power. While Stand respects the rule of law, we firmly reject its abuse by judges, officials, and elites who manipulate legal processes to dispossess struggling communities. Such actions deepen injustice, inflame public anger, and erode trust in the state. Stand calls on all Liberians, especially affected communities, to peacefully but forcefully rise to resist illegal evictions and defend their land rights within the confines of the law. We denounce what has become a bloody bulldozer campaign against the poor and perceived opponents of Joseph Boakai-led government, and we reaffirm our commitment to nonviolent resistance in defense of the people, their lands, and constitutional order. The Saye Town demolition exercise is not only inhumane, it also violates Liberia's constitution, including Articles 20A and 22A, the Land Right Acts of 2018, and applicable Chinese laws. It further breaches Liberia's binding international obligations under the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights as enshrined in Article 11, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights as enshrined in Articles 14, 16, and 18, and the UN Guidelines on Forced Evictions. In solidarity with the victims of Saye Town, Stand will deploy civil rights advocates and community organizers to support affected families in protecting their land and mobilizing for peaceful civil actions in pursuit of justice. We further call on local and international humanitarian organizations to urgently assist Saye Town's displaced residents now left without shelter, without food, without water, and without health care. It is beyond dispute that the Saye Town demolition tragedy is unlawful, unconstitutional, insensitive, and intolerable. Accordingly, as we prepare to engage additional competent lawyers to fight for these vulnerable victims, we will also go to Saye Town to stand with our displaced brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and their children, to remain with them, sleep under tents if necessary, struggle with them, and defend them until their lands and rights are further restored. We take this stand because failure to act risks pushing the country toward deeper instability and social breakdown. Stand remains resolute, fearless in preventing that outcome through sustained, peaceful resistance. Touch one, touch all. The defense of land rights in Saye Town is the defense of constitutional governance in Liberia. I thank you.